Ever wonder how a Marine living 24 years in prison and a widow living 14 years alone in a seaside condo is important to you? Probably not. Most nonprofit founders, presidents, or chief development officers wouldn't, as a rule. I didn't either, at least not at first. But now I see how this connection can make things easier for you and better for your annual funding needs too. How could this possibly help generate more revenue for your nonprofit? You know, those extra funds that will solve some organizational problems and assist more of those you help as a service provider. This is something we both share. We have a mutually vested interest here. This is what I mean. John, as we will call him, came out of the Marines as a distressed warrior. Sadly, civilian life didn't go the way he thought it would. In fact, it went very bad. And it went there quickly. So much so that he found himself in prison serving a 24-year sentence. Ruth, in a state far from John's, had a very different life. Hers went well. Very well, in fact. Notwithstanding the life issues we all face, including that of losing her beloved husband a little over a decade ago. As a widow, though, Ruth suffered very little. Case in point, her high-end residence in Santa Barbara. So where's the connection with you? It's right here. John, upon release from prison, turned his life around. He did it through the help of an unusually successful ministry located in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. John's prison reflexes were an issue at first when he began working with Major General Bob Dees. General Bob is president of the National Center for Healthy Veterans near Lynchburg, Virginia. After John leveled out, graduated, and took a job as a cook, he was asked what he enjoys doing. He said he finds joy in being a cook. He said that because cooking allows him to give away meals to those who are less fortunate, men like the ones back in his former prison, which he in fact did. All because a donor and a nonprofit helped John. With this assistance, he found a way to turn his pain into joy for others. Ruth, on the other hand, is like someone you may already have on your donor file. I didn't know Ruth at first, and neither did the nonprofit I was representing. That is, until I visited her while on an assignment in California for the nonprofit. When chatting with Ruth in her ocean view sitting room, after I changed several ceiling light bulbs for this 5'3", approximately 110-pound lady, I asked her, "What do you like to do?" She looked a little puzzled at first, so I quickly asked if she likes to walk on the beach outside her window, go shopping in the nearby mall, or maybe even enjoy the spas up in nearby Ojai. She smiled, looking out across the seawater, and said, "No, I just like to give money away." I knew right then and there that this was going to be a good day at the office. Not only because she responded favorably in extending her generosity to help even more people in need. That was nice, yes, no doubt. But also for two other reasons. First, more struggling people would be helped. People like John, who were showing up at places like General Bob's Valor Farm facility for lost and wayward veterans. And secondly, because Ruth was going to experience more joy as she expressed her care for the Johns and the Janes around the world. As with John the Marine and Ruth the Widow, giving should always be filled with joy. We as founder, president, department head, and strategic advisor should always make it possible to give the gift of joy to those who give their gifts to the joy of others. The Bible supports this, in fact. Check your favorite translation of 2 Corinthians 9:7 and see if it doesn't say, God loves a cheerful giver. Or, as Bob Marley might sing, be happy, give happy. This connection puts us in good company because you and I love a cheerful giver. After all, what's not to like about that? There is plenty to like because it is through the joy of giving that those who give a gift receive a gift in return. The gift of feeling good about who they have helped and evidence that they have truly provided for someone, somewhere, and somehow. A recent survey conducted by Fidelity Charity suggests that 64% of donors wish they could give more to charity. One reason that 75% of the donors surveyed said they don't give more is that they are uneasy about the lack of open transparency that they receive. They also expressed concern about not being able to clearly understand the impact of their giving to the nonprofit, the kind of giving that helps people feel good about their own donor interactions and personal engagements with the nonprofit. Donors want to feel good about helping and be thanked for doing so, as I discussed in Castle Roads 2 issues preceding this one. Caring donors want the joy of helping someone abate their hunger, sleep in safety, heal from sickness, see clearly, find relief from an impacted tooth, be shown a way to get their life back on track, and much, much more. Our job as leaders of organizations and heads of funding departments is to, or at least it should be, make it easy and joyful to give to our nonprofit, so that others, in turn, can experience that joy too, or less pain and not as much suffering. Over the past 30-plus years providing nonprofit counsel, I have set up many a long-range strategy and outlined numerous annual plans that effectively raise funds to help others. In that time, I have never forced, pressured, shamed, guilted, or coerced any donor to give, nor have I lied, cheated, stolen, or bribed anyone into giving to unnecessarily round out the list just in case anyone is asking. And in doing so, I have raised $1 billion, 3 times over, for human relief and organizational development. When we as leaders and professional development people present our funding offers strategically with human care and concern for our donors, they will help us to better assist those we both want to help. When we confirm, affirm, and appreciate our donors through consistent, concise, and clear communications, we do a better job of giving joy. Stories, photos, videos, trips, and visits, all delivered to our donors in a continuing cadence, set the stage for greater giving. One Notre Dame study, as published in the Journal of Consumer Research, explained that donor communications which demonstrate specific outcomes of giving will directly reduce gift hesitation. This is the kind of donor engagements I have discovered, tested, and utilized over the past 3 decades, all of which reduce donor-related anxiety, fatigue, and uncertainty. Plus, these communication methods increase donor satisfaction and accelerate ministry revenues through the joy of giving. So in closing, our job may hinge primarily on generating funds, raising revenue that supports and extends our ministries, outreaches, institutions, causes, associations, and other nonprofits' reasons for existence. But our real job is to make it easy for our donors to do what they already want to do, and that is to receive the joy of choice without having to endure the dread of obligation. In doing so, the Johns of the world and the millions more like them can be helped and blessed by the Ruths of our world who just like to give money away, both of whom give you and me the cause and the resources to do what we do in changing and bettering lives. Always know that your path in doing this may come in many different forms, but comfort and confidence can be found in knowing that all roads still lead to the same castle. It's just that not all journeys getting there are the same. Until the next issue of Castle Roads, travel well. E-Pole.